Hi, everybody. It's episode 604 of PodQuest.
Hey.
It is Wednesday, March 11th, 2026. I'm Chris. With me is Droo.
Hello.
And Walnut.
I'm here, and the windows are open, and it feels fantastic for the last day of spring part 1.
Right.
It got a little uncomfortable this after like 3 to 4 this afternoon. Like after it rained and the sun came out, it got
it was a little humid.
Yeah. And we're supposed to get within the next hour or so. We're supposed to get hit with storm within like probably 2 hours. We're supposed to get hit with some severe storms.
It's gonna snow tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's supposed to snow tomorrow night. But we've been in the 70s and 80s since Sunday. Yeah. It's been beautiful. It's been so nice to have the windows open.
Monday and Tuesday were like the two really nice days.
Yeah, I mean Sunday was really nice too. It was 60s.
So, temperature-wise, it was nice. Like outside, it was just overcast and miserable. It like rained in the morning and stuff. But yeah, like Monday and Tuesday were very nice days.
Yeah. It's been nice. It's been so nice.
Now we're gonna get rain and miserable weather for the weekend.
Rain and snow. I yelled at my parents because they just went to Florida. They went to Epic Universe, and they came back on Tuesday, and I yelled at them. I'm like, you have to go back to Florida. They're like, why? I'm like, because it's getting cold again. You leave, and it gets nice out.
Right.
Well, I mean, they were gone since Tuesday. They went from Tuesday to Tuesday, so, It took some time, but still, they come back, and it gets bad out again. So I was like, you need to go back to Florida. And they're like, we're thinking about it, actually.
That sounds like it is their fault.
It is. It's 100% their fault. Plus, they went to Epic Universe without me, and they talked about how they liked everything. I was like, well, what about Burke? And they're like, Burke? I'm like, the Dragon Place. Like, oh, the Dragon Place is great. I'm like, you went to Burke and you don't even know what it's called. So mad.
Well, you should have went with them.
They didn't give me an option. They didn't ask me to go. They just told me they were going, and hey, we need you to bring us to the airport and drop it, and bring us and pick us up from the airport. That's it. And all I'm getting is a lunch. They didn't even buy me anything. How rude.
They bought you lunch.
Well, I didn't get lunch yet. That's tomorrow.
Well, that's your fault.
Yeah, I probably should have taken a half day or something when I picked them up last week, or yesterday. Yesterday, but it's fine. But yeah. So, real quick, what do you guys think about Firefly, Serenity? You hear what's going on? Drew, do you hear what's going on? You're a little bit more online than
I legitimately did not hear what's going on.
So the Once We Were Spacemen, I think, is the podcast that Tudyk and Fillion have, where they talk about all their stuff, and specifically Firefly. They have been posting shorts across all social medias of Fillion going to different main cast members of the show and being like knocking on their doors, and it's basically going like, is it time? It's time. And that's mostly what it is. That's all it is. And they've teased an announcement for March 15th. And there's people going out there, people saying, "Oh, it's going to be a Firefly reunion. It's going to be a new series, maybe animated, maybe like a digital, like on Netflix or something." There's all wild sorts of fan theories going on about this. So Once We Were Spacemen started within the last 6 months. It's a relatively new podcast.
Okay.
I don't think it's specifically a reunion on that show, because they have had Gina Torres and what's her name? Jewel State on there, and there wasn't a big deal about those. They didn't make a big deal. But also, like, if they have the entire cast on there, it would be a pretty big deal.
I mean, so is it one of these rewatch podcasts, or is it just like a general podcast?
It's not a rewatch for Firefly. It is just them talking about it's Fillion and what's his name, being on all the different shows they were on together and being in the industry for as long as they were, as well as talking to other people. It's not just a Firefly podcast.
Okay.
But it is a podcast about their work together and throughout the ages. I've never listened to it. This is just what I get from reading like the description of it. Some of the fan theories though. So here's the best fan theory. Drew, you're gonna probably love this one. I saw somebody post on Reddit. My theory is Dropout is doing a Firefly series. All because last Tuesday, so what was that? The 3rd, aired the episode, or Monday actually, so the 2nd, aired the episode of The Rookie, Nathan Fillion's current show, where Dropout had a main story, was the A story beat to it, or the B story beat to it. Was all about Dropout and something going on with Dropout, and Sam Reich, Jacob Lysaki, Vic Michaelis, Zach Oyama, and Anna Garcia were all on the episode. And it was like a major plot line, and they literally went to Dropout. They went to Dropout Studios and everything. And so somebody's like, oh, Dropout's doing a Firefly. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, look, maybe they could. I don't know if Dropout quite has the funding to do a Firefly show. But it would be funny if that's how they try to introduce this, is doing this crossover universe thing with the Rookie. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be a reunion on Once We Were Spacemen. I do think it's going to be like maybe some sort of, because it's 30 years, 25 years since the show.
Next year will be 25.
Yeah. So like maybe they're announcing stuff for next year. Maybe they're like pushing something to come out next year. Maybe it's a movie. And maybe they find a way to get what's his name back on it, because he died at the end of Serenity.
So here's the only thing I can say to that. I don't think it's actually going to be like any sort of actual multimedia thing like that. Because the cast doesn't have the rights to the series. It's still with Whedon and his production company. And I'm pretty sure Whedon hasn't done anything since all the shit came out about him being just an awful person. 8-9 years ago.
With what's it called? Justice League. Yeah, I mean, who knows? It could be like an audio drama. It could be just like them doing a thing at New York Comic Con. It could. Who knows what it is?
That's what I'm expecting. It's going to just be the cast reuniting for something, probably next year for the 25th. I don't think like anything that involves them in character. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the rights. Like the cast doesn't own it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's just the internet's going crazy.
The internet always goes crazy over anything about Firefly.
True.
To a point where it annoys me.
Really?
Yeah, it's like, because like you said, it's always like, oh, they see something Nathan Fillion does, and the internet goes, oh, he's going to do a Firefly thing. It's like, he can't. It's not his thing to do a thing with. I know he loves it, but like, it's not his.
Yeah, and it's also it's 25 years later. Like, it's not going to be the same if they did do another thing. Like,
right.
Like, some of the cast is dead. Like, the guy that played Shepard, like, he died a decade ago.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, Rich, like you said, like, Alan Tudyk's character was killed off in the movie.
Yeah, they'll find a way to bring him back. They got cloning in that universe, I'm sure.
I mean, also, if they did do a thing set in the universe, they could just go back to sometime in between.
Everyone's so much older.
25 years older. Summer Glau is not 16 anymore.
Doesn't matter.
We have the technology. It's fine.
I would not want to watch that. Watching an entire entire movie of deepfakes, like, it's going to look so bad.
I mean, I agree, but, you know, I mean, and like, if it was a multimedia thing, like, I could actually see them more than likely doing, like, something animated. But again, like, I just don't think it's going to be that.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be, like, a panel or, like, a series of, like, events that they do at, like, maybe, like, New York and San Diego to celebrate the 25th reunion or anniversary or whatever.
Yeah. Who knows? It's the internet's been going wild about it. I'm like, people are asking. I'm like, look, just wait until the 15th. Don't get your hopes up. Like, would it be funny and cool if Dropout got the rights to do Firefly and are doing something with Firefly related stuff over a Dropout? That would be awesome. I don't think Dropout would be able to do that. No. Even if they were able to purchase the rights, I don't think they'd be able to financially do a Firefly series outside of anything beyond, like, animated or audio drama. Like, they don't have that much funding to put towards a big show like that.
To that point, I don't think they would have the money to even purchase the rights.
Exactly.
Like, it would be something that they had to probably, like, fan back, like Kickstart sort of deal. like Broken Lizard did for Super Troopers 2.
Yeah. And maybe it's a Kickstarter to do something to be able to purchase the rights so that they could do something themselves. Maybe. But like the entire cast is in on it, so the entire cast is excited for whatever's happening. I mean, most likely, since it has been being posted on the Once We Were Spacemen socials, it's probably just a reunion show on there. I just personally don't think it is because they've had Gina and Jewel on there before and they didn't make a big deal. So, like, it wouldn't really make sense to make a big deal. But I mean, if it's the whole cast, then I guess
that's the thing. Like, the whole cast does actually make it a little bit different, especially if it's the whole cast together.
Yeah. I'm sure the cast has been together since the show. I'm sure they've done panels or something.
I think the thing they did like a 10-year anniversary at like San Diego Comic-Con 14 years ago.
Yeah.
So like it has been a while.
Yeah. But yeah, that's Firefly, man. People are crazy about Firefly.
That is true. That is very true. I guess though with that said, what else is on the agenda, Rich?
So Droo did some physical activity. Then made his hair curly or something like that. Then we all should have watched Escape from New York. Cobb, you've been playing the new Pokopia, however you're supposed to pronounce it. And I want to have just a little bit of discussion about this whole min-max D&D RPG campaign drama, because like I talked about it a little bit to you two last week before the show, and more came out from that just is wild. And I just want to talk about it and like maybe get your guys' viewpoints on it and just like discuss it because it's ridiculous. Also, I really don't have anything else this week to talk about.
What a disappointment.
Look, I mean,
Droo, how was curling?
It was really fun and way harder than it looks.
How curly is your hair?
It's very straight.
Oh, so then you didn't curl properly.
No, I didn't.
Did you leave it in overnight?
No, I mean it's on ice. Your hair don't get curly.
Oh, curling the sport, not curling your hair. Okay.
Yeah, you know the Olympics happened, so curling got a big spike in interest again. And
where the hell do you go curling at?
So
there's a league around here.
Jersey Pinelands Curling Club, and they run out of the skate zone in Pennsauken.
Okay.
And it was a cool thing. So they normally learn to curl classes throughout the year. But when the Olympics come around, they do like an abbreviated class that they call the Olympic Curling Experience, where it was like 90 minutes. It was $35 a person, not expensive at all. And they real quick teach you the super basics of how curling is played and let you get out on the ice and try throwing the stone down the ice, and then teach you about sweeping the ice. And you know, you just get to hang out and meet the people that it's a volunteer club thing, like I said, out of Pennsauken, and you meet the people from there, and you know, it was a good time.
Did you know somebody that was doing it?
No, like I had heard. I feel like every time the Winter Olympics come around, they start blasting ads on Facebook. So I remember seeing them a couple years ago, or I guess like 4 years ago, pop up, and then
that tracks.
Yeah, this time I had someone else that wanted to go with me, and her and I went, and yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah. Do you know Adamson?
I'm sure he's someone that I've met at some of the shows, and if I saw him, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Well, like he is very much into curling. Like he travels for curling.
Okay.
And I know he is in some sort of league locally for it. I don't know if that's the same one or not.
I don't know, because there's other ones in like Paoli. There's a couple places over in PA, just outside Philly, that have like actual curling. I forget what they call them, but I'll just call them lanes because I can't remember the actual term. Instead of like being like, okay, we're gonna paint the stuff onto the hockey ice real quick.
Okay.
And then there's one up near like Princeton.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does one in New Jersey, but like that's about all I know. He mentioned it once. He's like, hey, if anyone wants to come curling, like I'm in a league. Like we accept all ages and skill levels.
I mean, it could be this Jersey Pinelands. I don't know.
Yeah. How'd you do? Did you curl
terribly?
You didn't get a curl or whatever. Like
it's real hard. I did. I think I one time got the stone to the other end of the ice at all.
So, real quick, for any listener who may live under a rock and don't actually know what curling is, explain real quick what curling is.
So what Richie is saying is he doesn't actually know what curling is, so please explain it for Richie.
I know what curling is. Curling is shuffleboard on ice.
Yes, that's the simplest way to put it. But you have two teams. They have, depending, you either have 2 or 4 players on your most are 4 players, but then they have like double. One person on the team gets set up in basically what looks like a runner's starting block, but not quite as tall. And you push off of that and you slide a stone down to the far end of the ice surface. There is like a target, with 3 rings, and the objective is to get the stone closest to the middle. The team with the most stones closest to the middle ring gets points based on how many they have closest to the middle before the other team has one. So you might just have the one closest one and get 1 point, or you could have 3 that are closer than the other team has, and you would get 3 points. Again, depending if you're playing the 2 or 4 player, there are different amounts of ends, basic, and the team that did not score in the prior round gets the last shot in the next round. So having the last shot is always an advantage because you can see what you need to do to potentially score points or stop the other team from scoring points. And it's fun. It's interesting.
How many times did you fall on your face?
0, surprisingly.
Because you're not on ice skates. You're just straight up on your shoes on ice.
Yeah, you're on. They give you like a gripper to put on the bottom of one shoe.
Okay.
Although, and I mean, I guess the gripper probably helped, but just walking on the ice was not that difficult. Because what I did not know, I didn't catch in any of my time watching the Olympics this year, but apparently they showed it. The ice surface for curling is not a smooth, flat ice surface like it is for hockey or figure skating. They do what they call pebbling, and someone with like a little backpack of water goes around, and they have this special thing that releases just droplets of ice or water that they put onto the ice, and it creates a textured surface. Because if you had a perfectly smooth surface, the way the curling rocks are, that they have just this tiny edge on the bottom that the stone is on, that then like has a little bit of a concave inside it. It would basically just suction cup to the ice as soon as you put it down and would not slide at all. So it needs to have that bumpy surface, which made it not quite as slippery. But people did, even when you are just sliding the stone and you're kind of down on your knees, a few people did fall over, because they do give you a what's called a slider to put under your other foot when you're pushing off to throw the stone, so you kind of actually slide. And if your balance got even slightly off, you might tip over. And I was honestly amazed I did not tip over at all.
I would be on my ass the entire time. Like I'd have no balance with that. No balance with that. But yeah, I mean, that's also why they have to do like the whole brooming, is because you're trying to move pellets out of the way and keep pellets to make sure it goes and stops at the certain time and stuff like that. So yeah.
I didn't realize it was like rough ice essentially, though. I thought it was just like they were trying to polish it as much as possible, or not too much to like, get it as close to center as possible.
Yeah. Like I said, I did not know it was that rough surface, and it was interesting to be like see it, because you could see the bumps in the ice just walking across it. I was like, oh wow, look at that. Because like I went ice skating not this winter, but the winter before, could not fucking do that. It was terrible at ice skating.
Ice skating scares the shit out of me,
in a long time.
Wasn't hard at all.
I don't trust being around people that have blades on their shoes. I just don't trust it. I don't trust that.
I mean, fair.
You know what I didn't know? Apparently, so your hockey skate is just like a real thin blade. Whereas like your figure skating skate is like a thicker blade, but it's actually like there's like a little groove in it that actually makes it almost like 2 different blades, and then the tip of it is just like spikes to dig into the ice.
Makes sense.
I never knew that.
Have you seen the speed skating skates?
Oh yeah, like they're like really big, and I think like the back lifts off of the blade a little bit, right?
Yeah, they're like they'll like clap.
Yeah, yeah. This way, like they can like move their feet up and like bend it correctly.
Mm-hmm. But the blade and keep the blade in contact with the ice at the same time.
Yeah, skates are weird.
How people figured this shit out is crazy.
That is very true. And the stuff people do on skates also crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like, yes, we're gonna go out there and either play a physical sport or like a physical contact sport, or do very elaborate dancing, or just move at a very fast speed on really thin pieces of metal.
Not that I didn't respect hockey players, figure skaters, speed skaters before, but trying to go ice skating one time was like, holy shit, how do any of them do this?
Yeah.
Years of practice.
Still, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was. Like, even without my bad ankles, I would never trust myself to go ice skating and skating in general. I remember many years ago, we had friends who did ice skating for their birthday, and I was like, I'm not gonna go ice skating. It was like they were doing a charity event. I'm like, I'm not going ice skating, so I'm sorry, I'm not going to go, but I will do anything after the ice skating. And they got upset with me because it's like, well, it's for charity. I'm like, yeah, but I can't ice skate. Like,
yeah, like
I'm not going. I'm sorry. I would love to support the charity, but I'm not going to pay for something I can't do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at that point, just make a donation to the charity.
Yeah, here's $10 to the charity.
Yeah,
yeah,
because it's not like anyone's going to hang out with you. You're literally just going to sit there by yourself.
Exactly.
As people like occasionally come off the ice for like a quick break.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's silly.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, do you guys want to move along to Escape from New York?
Yeah. You done talking about curling, Drew?
Just jerseycurling.org is the website for the place. Like I said, they have classes pretty frequently throughout the year. Check them out. It was cool.
Nice. So, what did you guys think of Snake Plissken escaping from New York with the President of the United States?
It was a very early 80s action movie, and I could see the influences it had on Metal Gear.
Yeah. I can understand Kojima using the influences
and Mad Max
for Solid Snake, but like it definitely didn't age well. And like in reference to the prompt itself of movies that are take place in the future, but the future is now the past for us, like it didn't have a lot of very futuristic tech. So like it kind of missed the prompt a little bit. Like it still had some futuristic tech. It was nothing like Johnny Mnemonic.
No, but my thinking for that also wasn't just a bunch of futuristic tech. It was like what does somebody expect the future to look like from like their point in time, and like us being past or around that time now, like how accurate was it?
Yeah.
And like Johnny Mnemonic, like while like fanciful with a lot of stuff, not completely unrealistic with some other things.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this movie assumes a World War III happened, and that the crime rate in the country is so bad that they just turned Manhattan Island into a citywide penitentiary.
Did they say World War III happened? I must have missed that.
So Snake Plissken was a Green Beret during World War III.
When did they say? I might have missed that. I might have just
honestly that might not have been in the movie. That was me like looking it up. Like I was reading like the Wikipedia page after the movie.
It might be something you find out in Escape from LA or something like that.
There's also been like comic books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it is stated that he was in the military at some point.
Because
and the war, but
true.
It was very clearly not any war that had actually happened, because it was Leningrad, right, or something.
Yeah,
that he flew the glider into. So that was like, well, that's not World War II, and
and the whole
real war that had happened.
Yeah, and that whole premise is like, I guess, like peace talks or something like that between China and Russia, or with China and Russia.
Yeah, I might have just missed the a little bit. But yeah, like I think like overall, like the movie was. I think it is funny. Like the movie was written in 1981, written and made in 1981 for 1988 is when they built they turned New York into the prison. I think the movie takes place in the 90s.
97.
Yeah. So it at this point it had been like 9 years since the prison had been made, but it was just like, oh, but in you think that they thought that World War III could happen in 15 years or something like that,
or in the next 10 years, because like realistically, like I think the assumption is like the prison was created sometime around the ending of World War III, I guess.
I mean, maybe. I didn't, like I said, I missed the whole war. I missed a lot of the war stuff. I know, like, it was because it was also for nuclear fusion, right? Is what the tape was.
Yeah, something nuclear.
And like that's the proper use for nuclear fusion is power and energy use. And the reason we don't use it is because it is so incredibly expensive to even start on a large scale. Like it's incredibly expensive to do on a small scale. To like power a light for 30 seconds is billions of dollars. But to do it on a large scale there's not enough money in the world and no technology for it right now. But it's just like in that movie, like that was like the big most fantastical thing, is like something that like we can't even do now in 40 years after the movie was made. They're like, oh yeah, we figured it out, and the president has the key to it and needs to bring it to the summit to make peace in the world. And then Snake Plissken's like, yeah, no, fuck that, I don't want peace in the world, and just fucking breaks it.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, like, the sequel is basically just the same essential concept of him being sent into a prison to rescue, I think it's the president's daughter this time.
I think
just
so,
in
yeah.
Los Angeles, which Los Angeles, an earthquake finally broke LA off of California, and they just turned that into a prison too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's set like 10 years later.
Yeah, it's. I think it was fine. Like I said, it didn't age well. The acting, like, even for an 80s movie, the acting was bad.
Whoa, Kurt Russell was fantastic.
Kurt Russell was fine.
Everyone
else sucked. It was bad. Like, and like I could get past like some of the weird bad action and stuff. My favorite part in the ring, the fighting arena, when he kills the big guy with the spiked bat, and he hits him, and he gets in his head, and he falls forward. There's no spiked bat in his head. Then they cut away and cut back. The spiked bat is now still embedded in the guy's head.
It seems right.
I was like, that's like you saw a hole in the guy's head, but you didn't see the spiked bat. And then it's then they cut away, and it was just like, this is great. This is great. Also, like the landmines that were on the bridge, like how can you not see these landmines on this bridge that's fucking asphalt? You would just see them there.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense, but okay. And the fact that the villain, the Duke, ran over like 3 of them and his car was fine, but they ran over one with the cab and it blew up. Then after the last one that blew up with with Brain, there were no more because they couldn't read the map. Brain made sure he was the only one who could read the map, and there just happened to be no more mines on that bridge. Like, what?
Of course, it's convenient.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, so I did look up a little bit. Apparently, the movie was filmed in St. Louis, primarily, and they somehow came to an agreement with the city that they were able to just kill power to like 10 blocks at a time overnight to film the movie.
Interesting.
Weird.
Yeah.
I wonder if people got like paid for that or something. I mean, if they did it all in industrial areas, which it really did seem like they were primarily in industrial areas, then it would make sense that they'd be able to cut the power enough to where you wouldn't see it. I think one of my favorite lines is, "Oh, this is real. You just got here," was when she was smoking one of his cigarettes. I'm like, how are these people surviving for this long if there's no power, no electricity, no gas, no nothing, and no food apparently, or like they only get food like once a month? There's no way that they would actually be able to survive.
Yeah, it is kind of wild that like very early on they're just like, oh yeah, and there's no guards or anything. This is literally just it's everyone for themselves.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, and we're picking it apart as if it's like the dumbest concept, but one of the better games that came out in the last decade or so was Arkham City.
Dude, that was like 15 years ago.
That's why I said or so.
Longer, I think, actually.
But like Arkham City was they just turned part of Gotham City into the new prison and just let the villains run amok. And so it's like, yeah, I mean, that doesn't really make sense, but also you're talking about supervillains like Poison Ivy who can just make food for people living there and stuff, so you don't really have to worry about them. But yeah, it's not a movie that's meant to be picked apart like this, because you can easily pick it apart and find so many flaws. And it's just supposed to be a popcorn action film. It's just, even at that, like, it's the early 80s, they didn't really do popcorn action films very well. Because it was very slow.
But, and like, you can see how this really did have a lot of, like, influence on what came after. I also didn't realize this was a John Carpenter movie until, like, his name popped up at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that either.
Which, you know, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
John Carpenter, he makes some good stuff. Well, I guess anything else either of you want to say about this? Escape from New York?
Not really.
Right. I don't remember who picked Escape from New York.
Drew did, so it's my pick.
All right. Do you have anything?
So we could. There's technically. Yes, I have a pick, and we could do one of two with this pick. The 2014 Robocop remake came out in 2014. It takes place in 2028. It's just past our prompt, but just close enough to where it could still work. Or the original Robocop was made in the 80s and just takes place in the near future. It doesn't have an exact date, but most people speculate in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, I always assumed it was supposed to be like early 2000s.
Yeah. So do we want to... I'm fine with either one.
So if we're going to watch RoboCop, it's got to be the original. I've seen that remake. That remake was really, really bad.
I don't think it was that bad.
I never heard a single good thing about it, but...
But yeah, I mean, I love RoboCop either way. Like, I'm a RoboCop.
Legitimately... I like the original RoboCop. I was borderline offended by that sequel. It was so bad. Or remake, whatever you want to call it.
I wonder if that's the case with that remake, is anyone who's seen the original really likes the original, is like, the fuck did you do to RoboCop?
Yeah, I mean, they modernized RoboCop is really what they did with it. Like, they modernized... They obviously, you can't make a one-for-one remake of a movie that takes place that's like a futuristic thing when futuristic technology is advanced beyond what the previous movie was. So you need to make it even more futuristic, and it is. I don't think they did bad with it. I thought they did solid. I don't even know what it was rated or what the Metacritic score for it was or anything like that. But like, I didn't think it was egregious. I didn't think it was like the worst movie ever because of whatever.
No, like, I am not one who's like, oh, this is bad because it's not the original. Like, I really did not like that movie. So it's got a 50% review score, a 49% audience score.
Yeah.
It was not well liked.
Yeah, I think when I see that, it's a hit or miss. People are either going to like it or they're going to hate it, kind of thing.
But yeah, I'm all for watching the original. The original's great.
I'm definitely down for that. I love the original. I love it.
I did, because I wasn't sure who was next or like if anyone had a pick. I pulled up a list of like movies that it could be like that work for it. I found a list. It's 32 movies, literally 32 movies that like were set in the future that are now the past. And things like The Running Man and Rollerball and Mad Max, but also like stuff like I hadn't really thought of, like the original Purge movie was technically set in the future.
Yeah. I mean, I would do Purge, but it's not available anywhere.
Yeah, but like that's just a movie where like I just assumed that was just like alternate history sort of thing, but it was actually set in 2022. And then Highlander 2, I forgot, technically takes place across like a bunch of years, like because it's in the future from when it was made to begin with, but then it happens like I think it spans like 100 years or something like that.
Running Man was high up on my list of options, but I don't think it was streaming anywhere.
Yeah, that was when I looked it up. That one wasn't. Also, V for Vendetta wasn't streaming anywhere, and that one also was set in like the early to mid 2020s, and would have been a good one. Oh, and The Island with Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson, where they're clones or whatever. Forget exactly how that movie went.
Island. Oh, that movie. Oh boy.
Yeah, that was set in like 2019 apparently.
That movie's.
I didn't hate that movie.
Like, I don't hate it, but I would probably have less to say about it than I would RoboCop in a sense. Just because it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. And then Demolition Man's the big one, but that one's set in 2032. So we're not quite there.
I mean, it's 2032 and then it's 100 years after that.
What?
Demolition Man, the start of the movie is like 2032.
No. The start of the movie is 1996, and then they're woken up in 2032.
Oh, okay. Running Man is available on Paramount Plus, but we've done so much Schwarzenegger that I'm gonna still do RoboCop.
Oh, yeah, no.
Is that the original Running Man or the remake? I think that's the remake that's on Paramount Plus.
The 1987 Running Man is on Paramount Plus. But we've done so much Schwarzenegger that I'm gonna.
It looks like they both are.
Yeah.
The new one
I think just came out.
RoboCop's a good choice.
Yeah.
All right, so in 2 weeks we will be watching RoboCop.
And again, nothing wrong with Schwarzenegger. It's just we have watched so much Schwarzenegger.
It's what, like 6 movies? That's not that bad.
Didn't we do a whole Schwarzenegger category? I know we did a whole Nick Cage category. And we ended up doing three straight movies of Schwarzenegger by accident, basically.
Well, we did the Terminators. And then that Stand movie.
Well, we did. It was the Decades movie. The Decades.
Right. Yeah, because we did Commando also.
We did a decade. We did a Schwarzenegger movie in each of the decades.
Yeah.
And we did the bonus one for the early 2000s or whatever because we just didn't do a Schwarzenegger movie for that one. So that's why we've done a lot of Schwarzenegger.
We have. You're right. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
But cool. So RoboCop in 2 weeks. I guess next up is I've been playing Pokopia.
Yeah, how is Pokopia? Do you know where Pokopia is based in?
What do you mean?
There have been people who have figured out that most likely the town that Pokopia is. Okay. Yeah,
so it's not one town.
Yeah.
So there are just straight up references to stuff from Kanto. Team Rocket. So throughout this, do you guys how much do you guys know about the setup for the game? Anything other than what was in the trailers?
It's just the near distant future of Kanto of some sort or something. Who knows? Yeah.
So
not a damn other thing.
So you don't really know anything about the world. So the game starts up and there's a Tangrowth, the evolution of Tangela, in a cave, kind of ruffling through some junk that it has found, and it lives in this cave on this island sort of place all by itself. It hasn't seen a person or Pokemon in years and years and years. They're never really given exact time frames. And then this Ditto pops up, and you are the Ditto, and you transform into something that looks approximate to your old trainer, just with the Ditto face. And the Tangrowth basically convinces you to help it kind of revitalize the land. And so the first thing you do when you walk outside is you find a Squirtle that's dehydrated. Yeah. And you go talk to the Squirtle.
Tangrowth hasn't seen a Pokemon in years. There's a fucking Squirtle right there.
Yep. So you go down, you talk to the Squirtle, you're a Ditto, you transform and use Water Gun. Only this Ditto doesn't really transform, just little bits of it will change just to do certain moves. It's funny. So when you do Water Gun, it grows the Squirtle tail in a shell and then just spits water out of its face. Mm-hmm. And you literally just hit the Squirtle with water and wake it up, and it gets up, and then you find all 3 Kanto starters basically to start. So you get Squirtle, Charmander, and Bulbasaur. And Squirtle and Squirtle and Bulbasaur each give you abilities. So you get the ability to make grass with Bulbasaur, and you get the ability to water things and bring things back to life with Squirtle. Mm-hmm. Charmander, you don't get a fire for whatever reason. You actually need to get Charmander to come over to things to light them on fire. Or any fire Pokemon. And then you're basically just tasked with hey, let's just keep cleaning things up and watering things and bringing stuff back to life and building things. You find an old dilapidated Pokemon Center, and one of the things you figure out is we can rebuild the Pokemon Center, and maybe that will bring people back. So the whole thing is you kind of in that zone that you're in, you find little hints and stuff like that on like where Pokemon used to live, and you build their habitats. In a lot of cases, like, you build like a 4 block of grass, and if you come back to it later, there might be a Pokemon there that's like, I'm going to make this my home, and then that's kind of becomes their spot until you relocate them later if you want to. Mm-hmm. And like some Pokemon are just as simple as like, oh, put grass around a tree, and that might get you a Pinsir or a Heracross. Other Pokemon like Litwick, which is like the little candle Pokemon. It's like the little candle ghost. You have to you have to find a gravestone, put 2 lit candles on either side of the gravestone, and then put a plate down and put a piece of food as an offering onto the plate. And it might summon a Litwick, or like one of a few other Pokemon could show up.
Yeah, too. There's a Cubone is the same thing. It's like
it's a flowers with the gravestone.
Yeah, and then that becomes its home. And if you go and visit it throughout the day, like at night, the Cubone will go and cuddle the grave when it's going to sleep.
Yeah. And like you go talk to the Pokemon around town, and like you can ask them how they're doing, and they'll tell you if like there's anything that would make them feel better. And like sometimes they're like, we'd like a bed or like a toy or a decoration, and like you give them that stuff, and it raises like that zone's level, which then unlocks more stuff that you can do. Because as soon as you find the Pokemon Center, even though it's like destroyed, the PC still works for whatever reason, and the PCs are all outside. So you can go up to the PC and interact with it, and there are like goals that you get given throughout the day, and every time you like reach a new rank, it unlocks more goals, and those give you like your currency in game. And then there's a shop in there that you can use to buy things for crafting, like buy plans for crafting or recipes for crafting, buy different items that you can't necessarily craft yet. They also sell like habitats, so you like literally like little like prefab houses that you can go like set up a house somewhere, get some Pokemon to come help you build it, and then it becomes a house that you can then assign a Pokemon to. So like for like the gravestone, so far I've only found 1 headstone in like the first main area. So the only way to get like let's say 4 Pokemon that you get from having a gravestone with stuff around it is to relocate the Pokemon to like a new home after they've spawned. So like you build them a little habitat, and you're like, hey, come with me. And you're like, would you like to live here? And they're like, really? I can live in a house, not just like outside? Sure. And then they'll move in there. And the only stipulation is any place that you want them to move just needs to have 3 pieces of furniture. Yeah. And I actually just found out last night that you can actually build homes. You don't have to use like these prefab ones, because the prefab ones are kind of a pain in the ass. So there's different like tiers to it, and kind of like Animal Crossing, once you like buy like the thing and set it up, you then have to wait like real world time for it to be available. And while you're doing that, any Pokemon assigned to the building are just unavailable for anything else. And generally you need, so like every Pokemon has like a different skill set. So for a lot of these builds, you need a Pokemon that has the build ability, one that has the chop ability, and then usually like 2 or 3 others that are just kind of like helpers, let's call them, like their abilities don't matter. But like early on, like Scyther was the only chop Pokemon I had for quite a while. So anytime I had a house to build, he had to be involved, and then I was stuck not being able to get Scyther to do other stuff like make lumber for me. So I found out that like you can just make a house by just putting it's kind of like Minecraft in a way too. So like Animal Crossing and Minecraft combined, where you can just dig through the whole world essentially. Like eventually you do hit like walls that you can't go through, but for the most part, like if you see a mountain, you can just collapse the mountain and get all the building blocks from it. And then you can just take all those blocks and turn them into a house by just like building 4 walls and putting a door on it. As soon as there's 4 walls and a door, it's a house. Doesn't even need a roof. And as soon as you have it as a house, you put 3 pieces of furniture in there, and you can assign up to 4 Pokemon to live there. And the nice thing with that is when you do the prefab houses, the Pokemon basically despawn from the world, and they spend the majority of their time inside the houses, because in the world, they'll only have like 20 Pokemon spawned at a time. And they literally do just wander around the world. Like they're not always at their habitats. They like hang out with each other. Like you'll wander around and you'll literally just find like Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee fucking sparring. Or fun. Like Bulbasaur and Drifloon will be playing tag. Like it's actually really cool, kind of like seeing how much like just weird NPC stuff they'll do. But yeah, like I gave Charmander a house because he asked for one. He literally said, he's like, I realize when it rains, my tail might go out, and he doesn't say he'll die, but that's kind of what he's alluding to. He's like, I'd really like to live indoors, so I built him a house, and then like I don't see Charmander outside anymore. Like I have to go into his house, wait for that to load, and then like ask him to follow me if I need him for something. So like just building your own houses and throwing a door on them means that like the Pokemon stay spawned in the world. And even if you have more than 20 on the map, you can just put honey at whatever they call home, and they will immediately spawn for you. So like if you needed Charmander to do something, you don't have to go into his house. You just put some honey outside of it, and he pops up.
Okay.
But yeah, so the first area appears to be maybe like Fuchsia City or something like that. Because I found some tablets that reference Koga, the Fuchsia City gym leader. And I also found something related to the cycling road, which was also off of Fuchsia City. The second area I think is actually Vermilion City, that was Lieutenant Surge's city, if I'm remembering city names correctly. Mm-hmm. And that one is like a port city, which makes sense because that's where the SSN was, and it's got like some power infrastructure stuff that I didn't have in the first zone. And then I've only got 3 zones opened up so far. The third zone I'm thinking is probably Pewter City. Just like there's a lot of mountains, there's a lot of like brick and rock and stuff like that around. So like that one just seems a little bit more like pewtery to me, based on like Brock and everything. I haven't found a lot of stuff like the diaries and things that you find around that indicate it, like I did in the first one. But yeah, so far like every area does seem to be connected to one of them. And I think there is actually in the main zone there is a very long path out into the ocean that I actually followed at one point, and they said, hey, we recommend you play more of the game before you go out here. Or we recommend you learn more about the world before you go out here. And it doesn't stop you from going there. Like, it's like, do you still want to go? And I said no. I'm like, no, I don't want to, like, screw stuff up yet. I'm wondering if that's, like, Pallet Town or something. Like, that'll be, like, the final zone is, like, Pallet Town.
Probably.
But yeah, like, it's actually, it's a very cute game. And there's, like, a lot to do. It doesn't have some of the annoying, like, it doesn't have some of the annoyances I had with, like, your Animal Crossing, for instance. Like, I'm never, or like, even Stardew. Like, because it has a lot of, like, the farming sim sort of stuff that you can do, too, where you're, like, planting things and growing things and chopping things down. Like, you have energy just like you do in those games. But you don't have to sleep or anything like that. You just eat some fruit, and it refills your energy. And as you're playing, you very easily, like, buy... Every time you, like, unlock, like, a new level, you can buy an upgrade to your energy store. So, like, I'm on, like, the 3rd upgrade now. Same thing with your inventory. Like, you can very easily just buy the upgrades to the inventory. Pretty much right away, they give you crafting and, like, storage boxes to store stuff in. And, like, I've had very few instances where, like, resources were limited. The only real thing that seems to be, like, a limiter is having, like... is getting the raw materials turned into, like, some of the usable stuff. Because, like, there's a bunch of things where, like, you give it to a Pokemon, and the Pokemon will turn it into the thing you need. So, like I said, like, Scyther specifically can turn logs of wood into lumber that you can use for building things. Who else was there? Torchic, I think, can make clay, can harden clay or make bricks or something like that. Rubbish can make iron or copper for you out of trash or iron. Trubbish makes you some sort of iron you can use in crafting. Like, you collect trash from the zone he's in, you give him the trash, and he picks out and, like, refines the metal out of it for you.
I love that.
Yeah. And then like there's a I always forget what the Pokemon's actually called. It's the squirrel Pokemon that's like got like the real chunky cheeks and stuff like that. It's not the electric one. He's like a normal type. They didn't give us, like, in the game, they don't give his actual, like, species name because he's got, like, he's chef something.
Yeah, he's the chef.
Yeah, but yeah, he is a chef, and he teaches you how to cook things so that you can then, it upgrades your abilities. So, like, with Rock Smash is the thing you get from Hitmonchan. So you can break ground and everything, but you can't crush like boulders or some other stuff with it. He teaches you a move that lets you break harder rocks. Or like your cut ability that you get from Scyther. He upgrades it so you can cut down things faster or things that are like harder, like metal.
And like it's Greedent is the Pokemon.
Thank you. There's also a Smeagol that's a painter. Not surprising.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And he's just like, oh, and there's a fucking Snorlax that's been sleeping so long, he's covered in moss. I haven't figured out how to wake him up yet.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, and they just, like, it gives you, like, little quests to do in each zone that, like, all kind of tied it together and have, like, there's, like, an actual story, like wrapped around it. So you find, at one point, like, as soon as you unlock the, hey, we should rebuild the Poke Center, you buy the kit for the rebuild, and you find out you need a Pokemon that needs Bulldoze. And then, like, shortly after that, you head off in a direction, and you find an Onyx that is trapped in a cave. And the rock that's surrounding him is too hard for you to smash. And it's too hard for him to smash because he's been cramped up in this little cave for too long. So the idea is you're going to make it rain. Only Tangrowth tells you that it hasn't rained in years and years and years. He couldn't tell you the last time it rained. So he's like, but you know who can make it rain? Slowpoke. The rumor is if a Slowpoke yawns, it's going to rain. So then, like, you go find a Slowpoke, and there's like this whole little thing where you work with him to make him yawn hard enough for it to rain. And like all the Pokemon, well, not all the Pokemon, but like the main Pokemon that have definitely been unlocked so far, all kind of help with it. They give you like tips like, oh, we should go do this because that'll make it more humid and that'll make Slowpoke sleepier. And eventually you do, like, you make it humid enough that Slowpoke lets out a big yawn, and then it rains. And then you can go smash the blocks to free Onyx. And then Onyx can be the Bulldoze Pokemon to rebuild the Pokemon Center. Yeah, it's just real silly. And like the Pewter City zone was like the same thing. Like, I needed to get like a Machoke to teach me how to like break something so that I could get into something so that I could free the chef Pokemon because he was stuck in a barrel. And, you know, it was silly, but like it all led to something, and it generally it gives you a reason to unlock the first few Pokemon in a zone that then helps you kind of like figure out how to unlock more.
Yeah.
Because, like, for the most part, like, so far in every zone you go into, there's, like, some very common, like, make a 4 squares of that zone's grass, and Pokemon will probably appear in it. Do the same thing with, like, the flowers of that zone, and Pokemon will probably appear. And then there's other things, like, in some zones, if you can find, like, a menu board, a table, a chair, and some food, and put them all together, that will make a habitat, and, like, a Pokemon might show up there. I got a Slowking by you need a bed and a doll, and that's it. You just to put them out, and he's a rare spawn, but eventually he shows up. And like one day, I just happened to walk by, and there was a fucking Slowking just staring at this bed, going, "This seems like a nice place to live." Just a bed in a fucking dilapidated house too, because there are like old rundown houses and windmills and shit from like when people just like abandoned the world. But yeah, so I've probably played like a good like 20 hours so far. I've been playing for like 4 or 5 hours every night. And sometimes I'm actually like doing like the quests and like all that. Other times I'm literally just like wandering around and trying to like build new habitats to see what happens, like putting items down around things, digging into stuff. Cause like you really can just terraform everything.
Yeah. I've seen images of people having had built Arceus.
Yeah.
In the game. And then there's people who are like trying to rebuild the towns as they were, as they play and figure out which town each town is and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like I've done a little bit of like big terraforming, but not like a ton, because I'm really just I'm trying to like progress everything and unlock stuff more than like. I'm not like the most artistic when it comes to like building houses and decorating it at all. So I'd rather like explore and find things and like uncover the secrets than like spend hours building like this big house that is in the end not going to be all that impressive anyway. But like the other day, like I literally just like dug into a mountain. I'm just like, I wonder what's in here. And I ended up, it was connected from like, it was coming off of a hot spring, and I dug far enough that I found like a railroad track and like one of the habitat. I'm trying to think of the word for this. you'll find like little hints to what a habitat's supposed to be and what Pokemon might spawn there. And it tells you what you need to build that habitat. And this one was just a railroad crossing sign and railroad tracks. I'm like, oh, there's the sign. Here's some tracks. I just moved the tracks over. And like 5 minutes later, a charcoal, like the Pokemon that's literally just a fucking cart full of coal showed up.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's cool. That makes sense because he does travel on tracks, or like in theory would travel on tracks. And like I accidentally spawned a Graveler. I didn't even know he was I had just unlocked Moss, and I was in a cave, and there was a boulder. I'm like, well, you put grass around a boulder outside, and it spawns like bug Pokemon and stuff. I wonder if I put Moss around this cave one, what'll happen? I did it, and like almost immediately a Graveler showed up. I'm like, oh, cool,
nice.
And like I'm pretty sure Lugia is in this game.
So Lugia and Ho-Oh will fly above you from time to time randomly, and you can pick up their feathers and stuff.
Yeah, I haven't seen either of them. I haven't had a Ho-Oh yet, but I have. So occasionally you find tornadoes, and you get to them, you cut them because that's how you stop a tornado, and then a silver feather is on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a Kyogre. He becomes friends with you.
Okay.
Yeah, like that. That's actually so. Once you get the Slowpoke to yawn and it rains for the first time, you hear like a big rumble off to the ocean, and you go to investigate, and Kyogre just fucking rolls up to a dock. And you have to rebuild the bridge to get over to him, but you talk to him, and he's like, oh, hey, it hasn't rained in a while, and, like, I was curious what was going on, so I came to check it out. And he's, like, a little, like, southern Kyogre, too. Like, all of his text has, like weird little, like, southern drawl sort of stuff to it.
Nice.
And he's like, I like you. We're friends now. And then he, like, goes back. He's like, all right, I'm going to go back and take another nap. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Yeah. So, it's been interesting so far. And, like, every zone has been just, like, unexpectedly huge. Like they're so much bigger than I expected them to be. Like I have not explored all of every zone even remotely yet. Like there's certain parts of the zones I can't get to yet because I just don't have the resources to like build bridges to get out there yet. But you can tell the one thing I can tell is like I can definitely go to them because you can see like there's items out on them. And if a spot is like a invisible wall, there's generally nothing out there for you to interact with. It's just like open space. So eventually I think Lapras shows up and you're able to learn how to swim from Lapras. So I'll be able to actually go out into the water. Right now, if you go in the water that you can't stand in, you can jump around in it for like a minute and then he Ditto drowns.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've seen a lot of videos of people like hanging out with Magikarp and then walking him home because he just flops himself back to his home base. And so they're like, well, I'm just going to make sure he gets home safe because it's sad.
You know, Magikarp, he's mobile. He is surprisingly mobile and more mobile than some other Pokemon who's just like, it's really far and like the ground's not perfectly even and soft. So I'm going to need you to go just like make it so I can follow you easy.
Mm-hmm.
A Torkoal did that. The like fire turtle thing or volcano turtle guy. He's like, yeah, that Pokemon Center's kind of far, and there's like a couple bumps in the road, and I can't do that. So why don't you just fucking like go build some stairs and flatten everything and make it easier for me to traverse? Yeah. And then I do it, and he takes the wrong fucking path. So I have to keep redoing it because he's like, no, I'm going to go the wrong way to get to the Pokemon Center because I'm stupid.
What a pain in the ass.
But yeah, no, like Magikarp teaches you to jump.
Mm-hmm.
Because I forget
there was that whole Magikarp jump game.
Yeah,
like,
I mean
it's a whole big thing.
But it's just funny because like when you find Magikarp, he's just flopping around in the water. He asks you to build him his habitat. Like he's not one that you have to spawn from a habitat. And he's like, if you teach me, I'll show you how to do my move, and it's like the best move ever. And it's Splash. Like it's the only thing he can do. But it teaches Ditto how to jump. So now you can, and it literally says it's really just good for jumping up small ledges.
Mm-hmm.
And like it does, it works for that. Though like the same ledges you can now jump up, you were just climbing on before. It's just a little bit faster to jump on them.
Yeah.
But it was just funny. Like, and all Magikarp wanted was a fishing rod. Like that. Yeah. That's basically his habitat. It's just a fishing rod. And I think maybe a chair.
I love Magikarp. He's adorable.
Yeah. It's a shame. The Pokemon do not appear to evolve, which is like with good and bad. Because like I feel bad that Magikarp's never going to turn into a Gyarados. But,
I mean, in the game, it's never going to evolve into. But maybe in time in life it will.
Maybe, but like at the same time, you do at least find the evolutions of Pokemon. Like I have Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur. I also have Charmeleon, Wartortle, and Ivysaur. And I don't think I've seen any of them interact with each other.
You have to force that interaction.
I'm just gonna put them all in a house
Play
together.
with your little brother.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Pokopia. I've been having a blast with it. I'm gonna probably keep playing it.
Yeah,
cool.
The game looks absolutely adorable. Some people didn't find this out until some people I've watched playing it didn't realize that you could do this. But like Rock Smash, you can just hold the button in and he'll keep swinging.
The game tells you.
Okay, then the person I was watching just is an idiot. Also, sometimes I don't know why I watch them. Sometimes I don't know why I watch them. Their videos make me mad sometimes. Yeah, but also you can use the mouse feature to actually aim at what you're hitting when you're doing like Rock Smash and stuff.
Interesting.
So when building
them off of the thing, I play in handheld mode.
Yeah, this is something that I don't think I'd ever expect you to find out, especially since you're not as connected on the internet as like me and Drew are. Like if you can use the mouse feature, and while you're swinging, you can actually aim, and you can aim above you and around you, and it makes it easier when clearing large areas. And it probably makes it easier when crafting, or like not crafting, but like maybe building or something. It might be easier. I don't really know. I don't fully know how the building works in that.
You can aim without the mouse controls too. Like I do it all the time.
But the mouse controls probably make it a little bit easier and smoother than.
I mean, maybe, but like,
yeah, it'd be worth a try to see and compare.
Well, I can't because I play in handheld mode. You can't do the mouse controls without pulling everything off. I don't have a dock hooked up to the TV.
You can't use the mouse controls with just on the handheld screen. You can't take one Joy-Con off and just use the mouse.
I think you have to take them both off.
I don't know.
It's all or nothing. I'll mess around and see, but I think it's just like the old Switch. Like you can't leave one controller on and take the other off. Both of them have to pop off, or it doesn't recognize anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I never had a reason to have one on and one off on the old Switch. Yeah, so
same.
Whereas this kind of if the mouse controls is possible, like to do it this way, then it makes sense a little bit more.
Like I was saying before, like I'm not looking to like make giant, like I'm not going to be the person to terraform the whole place. So like being able to go in, what I need is a straight line and like up and down mostly for Rock Smash.
Mm-hmm.
That works perfect with just the analog stick and holding in the button. And now that I have the upgrades, now that I can make food that upgrades the other abilities, that helps with some of the other stuff. Because like making grass kind of sucks because initially it's one tuft of grass at a time. When you eat a salad, you can make like a whole like plot of grass by just holding it in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think woodering does like a little T shape, which also kind of sucks. Instead of not like, I'd rather it just be a square. Like a T shape is kind of a pain in the ass if you're trying to hit like a whole area.
It's a cross shape, not a T shape.
But I think I'm assuming if I upgrade that, it'll do a bigger area too.
Probably.
But yeah, like all that stuff, it's very easy to do. Like some of the building and stuff like that isn't the best just because like it's one piece at a time. But also, if you're looking to build something huge, like you don't mind that sort of commitment.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not going to build myself a giant mansion in that game or build Arceus. Like I did see that image of like Arceus on like a floating island.
Yeah.
But it's very cool. And I definitely like, if you have a Switch 2, I definitely recommend, and if you have a Switch 2 and like these types of games, like definitely recommend it.
Yeah. One of these days I'll get it all. One of these days.
But Rich, do you want to talk about this D&D min-max stuff?
Yeah. So we didn't talk about any of the drama last week because we're not often in the realm of talking about drama and stuff. But I think the story about this is so ridiculous that I wanted to bring it up because like I said, I mentioned it to you guys before we recorded, and then new information came out that I think is just even more mind-blowing and insane. So for the uninitiated, Min-Maxed is a D&D actual play where a bunch of martial artists, most of them have never had played D&D before, are playing D&D. They're all content creators, and they're DM'd by Tater the Bard, and it involves Sellsword Arts, Blumenak, Sensei Bensai, and Jacques the Whipper. The only two non-martial artists are Tater the Bard and Jacques the Whipper. So they did a Kickstarter. Their goal was about $10,000. They got $100,000 in 4 days. Shut it down after they reached $100,000. It was a holiday weekend. So, like, they were with their family. They weren't checking it the whole time. And they would have shut it down sooner had they realized it got to where it did when it did. So they had been very transparent about the money that they were spending, the money that they got, because they're incredibly grateful. And primarily, all they wanted the money for was to fly people here. Because Blumenek is from London. Jacques Whipper is all over the place because he's a traveling performer. And then, like, Sensei Bensai, he owns his own dojo somewhere in the United States. Like, he has to take time off of his actual fucking job outside of content creation to do this. So they wanted to just fly everybody in and board them for the however many days. And they scheduled it for 3 days. Unfortunately, the 3 days they had scheduled to record happened to be during the ice and snowstorm that the entire country got fucked with. And they were recording down in Texas, which is nowhere near ready for an ice storm with its infrastructure. So they were able to record, but there were a couple of minor issues that they weren't able to correct within the allotted time frame because they only had 3 days to record because everyone had to go home to their families, go back to their next contractual obligations and things like that. So they filmed, and I believe that it's 14 episodes over the course of 3 days. And their goal is to release them every other week. They've been very transparent. They said that the amount of money they spent as of now is about $40-something thousand, which leaves them about $50,000 for future seasons. And during their Kickstarter, they said, and if it can go well, like their video, it's like, if this goes well, maybe we'll do a second or a third season. Meaning, like, if you guys like it and if it does well enough, they weren't expecting to get $100,000. They were expecting $10,000 and that's it. So, like, the idea of if this does well is, like, if we can make our money back after the Kickstarter and after doing the show, maybe we'll do multiple seasons. That was the idea. Then they got $100,000. They spent $40,000 to $50,000. They now have $50,000 left. They are definitely doing at least 2 more seasons because they have the money to do it. Plus whatever comes from the actual thing. None of the performers were paid. None of the performers were given money from the Kickstarter. All of the money that they are going to get is from the ad revenue of the show itself, and that is it. No one got paid for this, except for, like, the sound people, the set design, and all that stuff. So they released their first episode, and the audio could have been better. Was it terrible? No. Could it have been better? Yes. Again, ice storm in Texas. Doesn't always happen. They weren't planning for it, and the mics they actually did purchase to use did not end up working. So they had to go with a different plan, so the audio wasn't where they wanted it. It wasn't exactly what it was supposed to be. Besides that, it's a great thing. They put out a great product. I really enjoyed the first episode. All of the personalities melded. It was very fun. There was nothing that happened audio-wise that was terrible. It's just occasionally you would hear somebody like whisper. You might not have been able to hear them fully or something like that. And it's also one of the people from Sellsword Arts is editing this. And he is not a big editor. Like, their content isn't, like, edit heavy. So he's learning how to edit this as it comes out. They're not paying an editor. They're trying to save as much money as they can so that they can do multiple seasons. So they're doing the editing themselves. So then this content creator watches the first episode. Within 24 hours of the episode being released, they go on. I'm not going to name their name. They don't deserve to be named. Because I've seen their content before. It's fine. I've never laughed at it. I've never thought it was great. It's fine. But they go on this big rant. They are a D&D creator. They do, like, shorts about D&D and D&D characters and stuff like that. And this person goes on a live stream, and they go on a rant about how MinMax mismanaged the money. And the production company that they are paying, which is themselves, they don't have a production company, poorly mismanaged their money. They spent too much money on this, that, and the other, and they're withholding the extra $50,000 just to pocket for themselves, because if it doesn't do good, they're not going to do another season, because they said in their video, if it does good, we'll do another season. And just completely mixes up their words and minces their words, and does a whole PowerPoint presentation about how this was bad. going into complaints of they didn't need to pay a set designer. They should have just done backdrops, like green screen backdrops. They should have paid for the fact that they spent as much money as they did on art and tech, and the tech wasn't up to snuff when they should have spent even more money on tech, even though they didn't mismanage their money. It's just a whole big thing where none of it really makes sense. And so MidMax released a video saying, hey, we know the audio was bad, but this video really hurt us because... And they reacted to it, and they gave out the whole explanation about the ice storm and everything else, unforeseen things that you never knew was going to happen. And generally, like I said, the thing was good. So, the one thing they said in their reaction to this video was, why didn't they message us? Why didn't they ask us or send us a message and talk to us about it before posting this, before slandering the name of the podcast, of the show and everything? Why didn't they message us first?
For the clicks.
So, that channel responded, oh, I did message them. They just never got back to me. So now cut to another content creator who goes into the drama of the D&D space. And gets the whole story, talks to MidMax, reaches out to this other creator, tells them what they're going to say in their video, and the other creator is just like, that's your opinion, that's fine. And doesn't, like, give an actual response. And MidMax actually sends them the email that this creator sent him. And so he does a whole breakdown about this creator who has mismanaged their entire career. They at one point tried to start a streaming service similar to like Dropout and Viva La Dirt League are doing, where this person barely has 1 million followers. And they're trying to do something like that, which they were going to be the Dropout of D&D content. This person just thinks of themselves all high and mighty, breaks down the whole thing, and then goes over this email that they sent MidMaxed. And the email wasn't a, hey, I'm going to talk about this. Can you give me some feedback on what happened? Maybe I can settle things and whatnot. No, the email was a straight up application of, hey, you guys fucked up. Here's how I would fix it. Here's my resume. And one of the first things he wrote was, scrap the rest of season 1. Don't release it. And let's start fresh with season 2. And if we continue to do more, we release a Patreon exclusive where everyone else gets to see season 1. Everyone who pays. This content creator who was jealous that non-D&D creators are jumping into the D&D space didn't invite him to do D&D content because it turns out this creator is from Texas, which is where they were filming, and is only about an hour away, and is just kind of just jealous, it seems, that they didn't ask him to do it, to DM. He's mad at them for mismanaging their money, and one thing he wants to do to help them from mismanaging their money is to scrap everything they spent their money on.
What an idiot.
Exactly. It is. So the channel I think is Crunchy. Let me find out the name of the channel that had the hour-long breakdown video about it. Crispy's Tavern. Tales and Tea is the channel, and they did a whole hour-long breakdown video about this content creator who chat on MidMax for their first episode, and like that it was not bad at all, and was in his video basically crying because I don't want you guys to be scammed anymore, and this was a scam, blaming their quote producers, who is just everyone on the team that's making the thing. He was just jealous. He's jealous that people are jumping into the D&D realm and he's not getting popular, is what it is.
I mean,
and
that's just exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. And it blows my mind how gatekeepy people can be about the D&D realm, about D&D podcasts. Like, one thing I did back many, many years ago before we started doing the podcast, I went to Otakon one year. And I, spent time going to different industry panels that Otakon had, because Otakon was big enough that they did have a Crunchyroll panel and different industry, and one of them I went to was Anime News Network, and they had a Q&A section after their panel, and somebody was like, hi, I want to get into doing this stuff that you're doing. I want to get into reporting on anime news and reporting on anime and talking about anime. How do I do this? The person's legitimate answer was, don't fucking do it. Get out of the space. I'm like, that's fucked. I understand you don't want a competitor. Like... You don't want a competitor, sure, but like, you lost a fan right there. And like this dude who this creator who talked bad on MinMaxed, they have lost fans, they have lost followers, they've turned off and on their comments for their video multiple times, turned them on to respond to things, and then turned them back off so that no one could be like, dude, you're totally wrong. I'm pretty sure he's washed up now. Like no one's gonna watch his content, or like very few people are gonna watch his content anymore. But it's just like, it blows my mind how gatekeepy people can be in some of the nerd world. And it's like, we're all content creators here. Like, if non-D&D people are trying to D&D podcast and let's actual play, more power to them. Like, you're jumping into a new form of content creation. That is hard to do. But your fans want you to do this, so your fans are going to be excited for you to do it. Just for some reason, some random fucking dude on the internet who has a following of just about 1 million followers or subscribers on YouTube is going to be very mad at you for it. And it's the dumbest reasons that he's mad at you for it.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. But I would highly suggest anyone who's interested in this or who wants to like hear more about this, the best place to hear about it, I think Crispy did a really good job of like putting it all together, and she also put her information of like her personal stories with this creator as well into it, and like, hey, I've had experience with this creator, and here's, because she interviewed him for stuff as well. So it's just, yeah, it was it's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing to see, and it's just like, it makes me so mad to hear that, and I'm just like, why do people be like this?
People suck is the answer.
Yeah.
And it's the internet, so they feel like they can get away with it, especially if they have any sort of audience.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like they're mad at the fact that MinMaxed within within 3 or 4 months got 500,000 subscribers almost, and their subscriber count is who even knows.
Well, and from what you've said, like it's a group of people that already had large followings separately.
Right.
Yeah.
So like,
if
every one of them, if there's 8 people and they all came in with around 100,000 followers, let's say, like, yeah, they're going to easily hit 500,000.
Yeah. Whereas this dude has been around he's on YouTube alone, has got almost 800 videos. He's been around for a long time, just under 1 million views or 1 million subscribers. It's like, he's been working on this, but he's had a failed streaming service. He has fired all of his editors. He's a one-stop shop now. He does it all. Whereas he used to have other people that did the work with him and make content. Now it's just him. And now his goals are to complain about the D&D space, creator space. Like his video where he talks about MinMax, he's like, I want to make more videos like this where I'm talking about the scams that people are doing to you. And at one point he talks about an event and how like the creators were talking shit about their fans behind closed doors. And he's like, I have so much dirt on all these creators, like Quincy's Tavern and this and that and this person. It's like, you're the dirt. You're the dirt in this space. Get out of here.
Yeah, that person is just salty that no one likes him.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
But I feel like that's probably going to be a show.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Okay.
I'm going through his channel, and the video he has made about all of it, he didn't take down. He just retitled it with a period so that people can't search for it.
Nice. That sounds about right. I hate the internet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So here's one last thing in slightly positive news. I just saw this pop up. In Pokopia, apparently, I forgot that there's multiplayer. Like you can kind of like Animal Crossing and Stardew. You can go to like a shared island with like friends and like do stuff on a shared island. Apparently, if you have a Pokemon following you when you go to that island, the Pokemon comes with you. And somebody posted that when they were playing with their girlfriend unintentionally had a Squirtle following her that she forgot was following her and hung out on the island while they were doing stuff. I'm sorry, not on that island. Like she came to like his island specifically, And then the next day, that squirrel came back to visit on its own.
Oh, that's cool.
As like a, hey, do you remember me? I'm friends with like X. And I feel like that is going to, in like a year or two, end up being a story of like somebody that died and their significant other, parent, friend, whatever, was playing their game, and like the Charmander from their island came running up or something. Because like, you know, that stuff hangs around in the game code. It's not like it just like disappears.
Yeah. That's definitely going to happen.
Yeah, but I thought that was like actually like a fun little like thing that the game does, apparently.
I like that.
Yeah. But anyway, that's going to be a show for this week. If you would like to find more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also help us out by supporting us at patreon.com/onequest. If you can't support us here with your dollars, though, you can go to your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify. Rate us, review us, subscribe to us. All of those things help. You can also find us on social media, facebook.com/onequestonline or at @one_quest on Instagram and Twitter. And our blue sky is at one-quest.com. You can also find us on YouTube, youtube.com/onequestvideo. And our email address is social@one-quest.com. Rich, what is your streaming?
Twitch.tv/me_walnuts for video game streaming, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Guys, the day this releases, the 12th of March, is the Future Game Show Spring Showcase that I have been accepted to be an official co-streamer for. So basically, I'm officially allowed to watch the showcase live on stream and commentate about it, I guess is really the prompt. So that's what I'm doing. It starts at 4 o'clock Eastern time. So I'll be live around like 3:45-ish to get all settled and situated. And then we'll watch it and talk over it and stuff like that. And then I'll probably talk about it on next week's show as well. But come and hang out with me on stream. It would really help me out. Because if I can get this done properly and have a good like numbers to show people, then maybe I can become an official streamer for other things. Like, I don't know, other events in general. So,
Summer Game Fest, maybe.
Maybe, stuff like that. Yeah, Summer Game Fest, the Game Awards. Who knows? It would be really cool. So definitely come hang out tomorrow around 4 o'clock Eastern time and spend some time with me. And then I'll be live for the rest of the day. We'll be playing some Sea of Thieves and stuff like that because the new seasonal content is out tomorrow. It was out last week. We gave it an extra week.
Nice. Very nice. Well, with that, we will be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
See yas.